that being said, I just want to thank you all. Specifically for the small group leaders in the room. I want to thank everybody for being here. Obviously, it's exciting. We got the 412 interns here. But for the small group leaders, this is you guys' last service before Encounter Conference. And then after that, we won't see you until like August for mock service. But I just want to thank you guys for all the things that you guys have done and all the times that you've poured into every single one of these students and just the obedience that you have to God for serving. And so I just want to thank you because no one actually will know. No one will know all the different things, but I just want you to know that God does, and He sees you, and He smiles, and He's proud of you, and He's very, very thankful, and so are we. And so I just wanted to share that first and foremost, and also to any fathers in the room, Happy Father's Day! Come on, we got a lot of them in the room. But with that being said, so Encounter Conference is coming up. It's the big busy season. We got Encounter Conference, we got Kids Camp. It's a busy time for us. And so you're probably thinking, because a lot of you are also probably serving an Encounter Conference, you're like, all right, so we're getting to the big stretch and we're almost done. But I want to tell you that we actually have one last thing that we want you guys to do after Encounter Conference. And before I tell you what that is, I want to tell you the why first. It can be really, really easy for students to go to a 3-day conference and they get really, really on fire for Jesus, and they get up here and they're ready and they're good to share. They're good to share the gospel. They're good to spread their testimony, and they're good to spread the love of Jesus across the nations. They're ready, and then a week later, they're here. They've gone from this incredible high throughout the whole part of conference, through these 3 days of just being poured into spiritually, and then all of a sudden they have a week, and then it's just back to normal. And so one of the things that we want to do to change that is we want to help these students that are going through this conference take next steps in their relationship with God. So it's not just a 3-day impact, but a year-long impact, a lifelong impact. And so like most of you know, in Encounter Conference, we have this card that we hand to every single student in the groups. We say, hey, would you like to take next steps? For middle school specifically, the next steps are twofold. It's water baptism and serving. And specifically for student ministries, one of the reasons why we want our students to start serving, is because there's a statistic that says a lot of people after they graduate leave the church. One of the things that stops that is when they make the church their own. And it's no longer my parents' church, but it's my church. When it's no longer my family's church, but it's my church. And serving can help them do that. One of the reasons why we want them to be water baptized is because it's them telling everybody whose team they're on. And both of these are great next steps for middle schoolers. And so what we've done is we've actually made an after-conference plan to help these students actually fulfill those next steps. Because most of the time, they fill out the card and they're like, yeah, no, I'd love to do that. And then they go home and their mom and dad ask, what did you do at conference? And they go, I don't know. And they forget, they miss it. And so we want to make sure that that's not missed. And so over the next couple weeks, we're going to be doing this plan, and we're going to be walking this forward. And I'd like to ask each and every one of you, not just here at Cranberry, but also at the campuses. It might be a little bit different for you at your campus, but for here at Cranberry, I'll be your detail guy. So I'm going to be pushing out some details and in the next upcoming weeks. But I want to encourage you, don't see the task, see the one. See the one student that's life was changed at conference, that you get to help that acceleration go into the rest of their life. Amen. And so the plan for Encounter Conference and afterwards with the next steps is they're going to fill out the card, and after that week, we're going to get all of that information and we're going to put it into one big document, okay? So we're going to get it digitally. And then after we get it digitally, we're going to send out the different groups to you guys. And we're going to put a parent phone number, and we're going to give you guys a script, and then you're going to have a certain amount of students that you just kind of call their parents, and you just say, hey, your child said that they want to do this. Are you open to this? Are you able to help them take this next step? And it's going to be very simple. It's going to be very clear like that. And with all of the different numbers for Encounter Conference in terms of how many students we're going to get, we don't really know how many that might be. But our goal overall is to get all the calls done before June 30th. And it's going to be a lot. But I want to encourage you, the life impact that we can have in all of these students' lives I don't know about you, but I don't care about the cost. I don't care about how much more time it takes me. And so I want to encourage you with that. But the reason why specifically June 31st is because the next weekend, which I think is only 2 days after that, it's either 2 days or it's the week after that, is when we have water baptisms at the church. They can go from right at conference right into getting water baptized. And so it's just quick, it's easy, and it helps them accelerate through that. And so we're going to be sending you guys out details in the future, the specifics of what that looks like, to give you kind of a rough number. If we get around 50% of people that sign up and say, hey, I want to take these next steps, you guys are probably each going to have around 5 students to call their parents. So it's just 5 calls. If it's more than that, we're going to get more people on the team. We're going to have more people making those calls. But I just want to kind of put that in front of you guys because it's really easy to just kind of, after conference, you just kind of checked out. You're going, oh, I'll see you in August. Stay with me for just a couple more weeks, and we're gonna shake things up. We're gonna blow it up, as Mariah always says. Yeah. Yes, thank you. The reason why you guys are making the calls, the reason why small group leaders are going to be asked to make the calls, is because there's no one with such connection with the students. There's no one. You guys are with them 40 weeks out of the school year, and you've developed those relationships with them. You've been with them through some things at this point. And who's better in the church to be able to call and reach out to their parents than you guys? And so that's why it would be you guys. That's why you would take that step in their life. And also it helps you build that relationship with their parents so that you can better serve their families. And if they're, for the parents in the room, if you had somebody call about your kid and say, your son, your daughter, they want to get water baptized, and they bring you into that conversation, how grateful are you that they brought you into that? And so just kind of keep that in mind. But that's why it's you guys specifically. Thank you, Mariah. That's a good point. Does anybody else have any quick questions before we get going? All right. Well, it's going to be a great service. We're going to spend some time in prayer before we start. Newcastle Meadville, we love you. We'll see you sometime. I don't know when. But we're going to stand up. Ray's going to put some music on in the back, and we're just going to start praying.